Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video, I want to talk about the scripting of Sunday Night Football, November 8th, 2015. Before we get into that, though, I want to address one of my critics. Also, know we're going to touch on other topics in this video, such as the death of Vince Lombardi. Each year, teams play for the Lombardi Trophy, which is awarded to the Super Bowl winner. Vince Lombardi, considered one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. We're also going to talk about a transaction made this past week in the NFL, Vernon Davis to the Denver Broncos. I want to show you what stands out about that and how it connects to the last Broncos Super Bowl, Super Bowl 33. Anyhow, my critics. Here is Emilio writing in. What he has written here is very similar to what many people write to me, so I know his thoughts are not unique or alone. There's a lot of people who feel this way, and I'll say that I once used to feel the same as Emilio. Let me read what he wrote. I like and respect your work, but pro sports are not scripted. They're rigged for the most profitable storylines and playoffs to happen, but no way are they scripted. Like the NFL will never let stars like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady not make the playoffs, and they have refs call games to keep them close and exciting down to the end for ratings purposes, but it is not scripted, just rigged through the referees to get the outcomes the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB deem most profitable. So, I agree with a lot of what Emilio said there. The one thing I disagree with is that they're actually scripted. What I am revealing is that pro sports, when we watch these people play, they are athletic actors on the athletic stage. They are helping come to predetermined outcomes, often scripted to the point, in the same way actors and actresses on a stage come to a conclusion of a pre-written story. Let's look at the end of last night's Sunday Night Football game, November 8th. Notice the score was 27-27 in overtime. On this play right here with 11:08 on the clock, the Eagles throw a touchdown pass that wins the game 33-27. What's interesting about the score of 27-27 where it went to overtime is its sum of 54. Yesterday, November 8th, 2015 was a date with 54 numerology. Here the game went to overtime with a sum of 54. At the final play was with 11:08 on the clock, kind of like the date November 8th. Earlier this year I did a video where the Colts went to overtime 13-13 on the date with 13 numerology. It was the first game Andrew Luck missed in his career, 13 an unlucky number. This kind of stuff happens all the time. These aren't the only two examples. If you watch sports with open eyes, you realize this kind of shenanigans, if you will, is going on all the time. Now, Philadelphia won the game 33-27 on this touchdown pass that came at 11:08. Here's everything that's interesting. Look at the way Philadelphia is abbreviated on the screen. PHI. P's the 16th letter, H the 8th, I the 9th. Sums to 33. Pennsylvania is known as the Keystone State. Keystone in Pythagorean gematria sums to 33. If you want to know how to do gematria, it is a very real practice. It's not something I invented. It's something that I learned and apply. Just type how to gematria into your YouTube search engine. My video will come right up. You will be gematriaing in no time. Both the Eagles and the Steelers both joined the NFL in 33. That was the year the NFL first split into two conferences. Think about how the NFL has always been run by Freemasons. This is in the history of the NFL. If you look it up, if you look up the people who began the league, Freemasons believe in divide and conquer and have a fascination with the number 33. It's interesting to think they divided the league into two conferences in the year 33. The first Super Bowl would be at the end of the 66th season, 33 years later. Anyhow, the quarterback of the Eagles is now Sam Bradford. Sam, that name, with the 33 gematria. Very special number. We'll be talking more about Super Bowl 33 shortly. Last week on Sunday Night Football, let me just show you this too, Truth Seeker. Sunday Night Football is often full of gematria numerology tributes. SNF, the acronym, sums to 39. This is one of the most important numbers to the Zionists and the Masons. These are the people who control and operate the NFL. This is one of their most important numbers, 39. So when you're watching Sunday Night Football, you are watching something with this coating on it that is of great significance to the people who run the league. It seems like in my history of doing this work, the most tributes happen during the regular season on Sunday Night Football. All the primetime games, I would say. Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Monday Night Football tonight has the gematria of 33. These special numbers that show up again and again. So anyway, last week on Sunday Night Football, there was the 39-year-old Peyton Manning playing against the Green Bay Packers. And in the game, Manning tied Brett Favre's milestone, who played the majority of his career for the Packers. Brett Favre was the 33rd overall pick by the Atlanta Falcons, traded to Green Bay after a season. Georgia and Wisconsin are the only two states with the 33 gematria, 44 gematria, 33rd pick Brett Favre. The G, though, on the side of the Green Bay helmet, there's a form of gematria, Francis Bacon gematria. That's where A through lowercase z are 1 through 26, and uppercase A through uppercase z are 27 through 52. And that form G can represent 33. Brett Favre, 33rd pick, traded between these two states with this gematria connection. Also, Atlanta, where he was traded from, is on the 33rd parallel. The G also represents the number 44 in Freemasonry. This is because the word grand has a gematria of 44, an important word to the Masons who have grand lodges. So anyhow, Brett Favre's record tied last Sunday Night Football by Peyton Manning when he's 39 years old. The outcome of the game was 29-10, summing to 39. Manning had 29 attempts on the game. Whole lot of numerology, gematria going on. Somebody who knows better than most that 39 is an important number to these people is Vince Lombardi, who died September 3rd, the day before the 1970 NFL season began. Died unexpectedly September 3rd, which can be written 3/9 as it is in most parts of the world. In the U.S., we would write it 9/3, another incredibly important number to the Zionists. Born June 11th, died September 3rd. He coached in the 60s, the only decade with a gematria of 33. He started his high school coaching career at Cecilia High School, St. Cecilia, a Catholic Jesuit school. His name, Vincent, had a gematria of 33. The name Lombardi has gematria of 38, connected to the word death. He would die an unexpected death a day before he was supposed to coach the opening of the 70 season. Notice what he finished his career with. 96 wins, 34 losses, 6 ties. If you count his postseason record, 105 wins, 35 losses. Now here's what stands out. The ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, 33. Add those numbers together, it sums to 96, like the word Freemason in gematria. The NFL is run by Freemasons, Zionist Freemasons. Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge, having gematria of 96. Freemasonry is said to be Satanism in disguise, having gematria of 96. Those 34 losses are interesting because the word murder has a Pythagorean gematria of 34. It seems that Vince Lombardi was likely murdered purposefully on this date for sacrificial purposes. Killed with the right number of wins. He couldn't dare earn another. Again, Vince Lombardi died September 3rd. The Zionist state of Israel, their Congress is Knesset, having gematria of 39 and 93. The design for Israel was first proposed to the United Nations in history on September 3rd, 1947. Another special number to the Zionists. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. This video channel is about more than sports if you're new here, by the way. I cover this content I showed in many other ways, so don't just think these are some isolated examples. This is part of a major body of work showing how history has been repeated by the same numbers again and again, from scripted sports games to the killing of people to the history of this nation. Think about 39 signers on the Declaration. Most people don't realize that in history, this nation came up on slavery, but the majority of slave holders were Zionist Jews. More than 90% of slavery was controlled by Zionists, a forgotten important part of history. Also, a lot of celebrities die on September 3rd, March 9th in history, dates with 39 numerology. These numbers connect to Saturn, which is associated with Thelema, which is this occult worship tied in with Masonry, Aleister Crowley. Very special numbers to these people. The date he died on also has a numerology of 82, like the name Vince Lombardi himself. The 105 total wins in the playoffs, Zionism and Masonry have gematria of 105. April 15th, the 105th day of the year, the day we pay all of our hard-earned money to the Zionists in their illegal Federal Reserve. Banker tyranny. That's why they give us the sports games, so that we tolerate and are appeased with the tyranny. The 35 total losses, including the playoffs, connect back to Catholic. Remember, he started his career at a Catholic high school. JFK, the only Catholic president, the 35th president. So here's another good one this weekend, Truth Seeker, or this past week. They had this story about 57 kids named Peyton in Indiana, where Peyton Manning began his NFL career. He lost this week, first loss of the season in Indianapolis, where he was replaced by Andrew Luck. Talk about more scripted sports storylines. Meet the Peytons of Indiana. This headline has gematria of 119. Remember, Star of David equals 119. All-Seeing Eye equals 119. Earlier this season, I showed how CBS, the station with the All-Seeing Eye symbol, had the 119-day countdown to the Super Bowl. Very suspicious. The video up here, this story is a minute 31, reminding of the number 131. It also says there's 57 kids. If you write out 57, it sums to 131. If you write out Super Bowl, it sums to 131. Vince Lombardi died at age 57. The Lombardi trophy is what the Super Bowl winner gets. Think about it. The last time the Broncos won a Super Bowl was January 31st, 1999. Think about 131, like 131, like Super Bowl. A date with 33 numerology. It was Super Bowl 33. Earlier this year on Monday Night Football, the Packers and Chiefs had a major tribute in numbers, scripted sports game, reminding of the very first Super Bowl. Very first Super Bowl was on January 15th, 1967, a date with 83 numerology. The word football itself equals 83. This is the numerology of the very first Super Bowl. Peyton Manning is born March 24th, which is the 83rd day of the year. Tom Brady, the other star of the NFL, August 3rd. Remember my critics' comments. He even brought up Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. The reason they're the face of the NFL is because they have birthdays associated with 8-3. That's how scripted this league is by the numbers. Notice Tom Brady's currently 38 as well, the reflection. This past week, the Broncos also traded for Vernon Davis. Davis has gematria of 55. The Broncos are 55 years old. Check this out, though, Truth Seeker. His birthday is January 31st, like the date of the last Super Bowl for the Broncos that they won. They're all signs, Truth Seeker. They are all signs. Super Bowl 33 was also on January 31st, 99, a date with 131 numerology, just like Super Bowl. Talk about the most perfectly lined up Super Bowl by the numbers, by these Masonic numbers, 33, which is right where we started. So, Emilio, again, if you're going to assert that sports aren't scripted, and for anyone like Emilio, please back up your points, because I'm backing up my points and I'm trying to wake people up to just how rigged these games are. The truth must get out.